Hey everybody, hope you guys are healthy and safe. So I have here on me the Honor 30 Pro Plus. So this is Honor's newest top of the line flagship model. This specific model, the highest level, starts at 3,999 Chinese yuan. That comes out to about 560 US dollars. But there's also a base model that starts at 2,999 yuan. So it's a little bit over 400 US dollars. But we're focusing on the high end model today. And at 560 US dollars, this is a really good value because the Honor 30 Pro Plus comes really close to matching the Huawei P40 Pro in performance in all the key areas, the important areas. So before we begin looking at this phone, let's rewind a little bit and check out the unboxing. If you don't care about the unboxing at all, then please skip to this time right here. Okay, we're back. So let's look at the hardware first of the Honor 30 Pro Plus. So the first thing you notice that this phone has a curved display. This is the first Honor phone to have a curved screen ever. Now I know everybody likes curved screens, but you cannot deny that curved screens takes a little bit more skill and effort to put together. They cost more to manufacture. How do we know this? Because virtually every other mid-tier budget phone, including previous Honor phones, would use a flat panel. And not just a flat panel, but this is the Realme X3 by the way. But the flat panel, if you look closely, you can see like a little abrupt sharp edge here where the display panel ends and the chassis begins. I mean, it's not sharp that's uncomfortable, but you can definitely feel a little edge right here because the display panel is just basically planted on to the chassis without any like seamless blending. That's not a feeling you get from flagship phone, whether you're talking about like a Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra or iPhone 11 Pro Max or the Huawei P40 Pro Plus. The display curves and blends into the aluminum chassis seamlessly. Even on a flat panel, like even on an iPhone 11 Pro, the edges still blend into the chassis seamlessly. Now the Honor 30 Pro Plus gives you the same feeling. The screen blends into the middle. So whether or not you like curved screen displays or not, you cannot deny that this is more expensive and premium to produce, and Honor is giving you that without increasing the price too much. This is an OLED panel with an in-display fingerprint reader. So this is also the first in-display fingerprint reader in an Honor phone since the Honor Magic 2, and the display refreshes at 90 Hz, and it looks very smooth and very fluid to my eyes. Now, around the back, obviously this giant Honor logo, it's going to be divisive. Not everyone's going to love it. I'm so far neutral on it. Like, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I don't think it looks ugly. In fact, it might grow on me. I do really like this purple blue-ish glass color that does not attract fingerprints at all. Now, this camera module here, it's very similar to the Huawei P40 Pro's camera module. They're both rectangular and they both house a periscope zoom lens. So this is another major win for the Honor 30 Pro Plus. You're getting a periscope zoom lens in a mid-tier device. So the main camera, which is in the middle, it's a 50 megapixel RYYB sensor. So yeah, this is the same camera sensor seen in the Huawei P40 Pro Plus. It's the exact same sensor. So that means the main camera performance here is going to be excellent because this is one of the best camera phones around. Now, the other lens fall a little bit short of the Huawei P40 Pro. For example, the periscope zoom lens here, it's only an 8 megapixel lens instead of the 12 megapixel lens here. But you know what? To be honest, I've tested this phone a little bit today, and whether it's 10x or 20x or even 50x, all the zoom looks very, very similar. I can't really see a difference in quality. Now, the wide angle camera here, which is up top, it's a 16 megapixel wide angle camera. So this is where it falls short of the Huawei P40 Pro's wide angle camera a little bit, because the wide angle here, it's a 40 megapixel camera. So by putting so many pixels in a wide angle image, it allows the image to be a little bit more detailed because it's a wider field of vision. So you need more pixels to fill out the scene. So a 16 megapixel wide-angle camera here, it's still gonna look good most of the time, but if you really want to nitpick, if you really zoom in the pixel peep, you'll see that the wide-angle images here are a little bit more detailed. But that's not really fair, right? I'm comparing a $560 phone to something that's like $950. If you compare the Honor 30 Pro Plus against any other phones at the same price point, like the standard OnePlus 8, actually the OnePlus 8 might be a little bit more expensive, or the Realme X3, the wide-angle camera here wins, in my opinion. Now finally, there's a 2 megapixel depth sensor here, and it gets the job done. Again, I don't have a live human here for me to test portrait shots because my girlfriend is still in the US, but I've been testing this on all the neighborhood cats and on inanimate objects, and I think the portraits bokeh look pretty nice. The bokeh effects are pretty natural. You get a creamy bokeh effect. Edge detection is relatively on point. Now around the front, it's a 32 megapixel main camera with an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera. So you're getting a face unlock on this too, and although it's not like the real 3D face unlock like on the P40 Pro Plus, this is still better than the face unlock on a Samsung or OnePlus phone that uses a tiny single selfie camera. So this is like 2.5D face unlock, I want to say, but the in-display fingerprint reader here is really good anyway. And inside the Kirin 990, that's Huawei's top of the line flagship chip, supports 5G, has a powerful GPU that can handle any game on the market, and there's a 4,000 milliamp hour battery that can be charged via the cable, included charger at 40 watts. And for the first time in an Honor device, this phone supports wireless charging too, and fast wireless charging up to 27 watt. In terms of RAM, there's 8 or 12 gigs of RAM, and this phone's rated IP54 water resistant too. So it's not quite IP57. IP57 means you can dip this phone underwater for 30 minutes and it'll be fine. IP54 just means it's splash proof, but that's more than good enough, to be honest. That means if you're outside and it starts raining, you can still use the phone. So far, this is a very premium package at a mid-tier price point. In fact, there's one area in terms of hardware that this is better than the Huawei P40 Pro. This phone has stereo speakers. You have a bottom-firing speaker grill right here, and also another speaker grill up here too. You don't even get stereo speakers on the Huawei P40 Pro. You get a mono speaker right there. And the stereo speaker system here is really good too. Oh, don't just take my word for it. Listen for yourself. This is just a really damn good speaker at this price point. Maybe the best I've heard yet. Alright, now let's look deeper into the cameras. As I mentioned, because this phone has the same main camera as the Huawei P40 Pro, that means any images taken at 1x is going to be excellent. It's going to be able to go toe-to-toe with Apple, Google, Samsung, Huawei, Oppo, any of the big brands out there. The wide-angle camera, for the most part, is really good. Unless you really want a pixel peep, then you'll notice that it gets a little bit soft around the edges. And just generally, when it gets dim, it's gonna lower in quality and get a little bit noisy. The zoom camera is really good. As I already said, it mostly matches the P40 Pro's zoom camera. So at 50x is a little bit blurry, but at 20x, it's really respectable, really usable. And the video performance here, it's really good too. Might be the best video performance I've seen in an Android phone that's under 600 bucks. You can zoom all the way up to 15x digitally, which is really impressive for a video recording mode. And then once you drop down to 1x or wide angle, the stabilization is really good. Now today was an overcast day, so colors are a little bit dull. For the most part, this is really damn good video on an Android. Now Honor's camera app, it's very similar to Huawei's camera app, except there's a little bit more like fun stuff like AR lens right here, because Honor, it prides itself in being a brand for young people. So they have these built-in beauty filters that you can download. Oh. Is it working? One of the areas that Honor is actually doing better than Huawei is the zoom user interface. Now you zoom in, say more like 20x or something, There's a mini preview up here in the upper left corner that allows you to then easily find what you want to aim at because it gives you a wider preview of the canvas. So for example, let's say I want to aim at this guy's eyes. See, I can follow this preview and find it pretty easily. Without this preview, it's quite difficult to find what you're aiming at because you're zooming so close in. And that's the case on the Huawei P40 Pro. So overall, the software experience is very similar to Huawei's EMUI, although Honor is not calling this EMUI. Honor is calling this Magic UI. It's Honor's own operating system, but it's very similar to EMUI. Now, of course, the elephant in the room, which you already know, the Honor 30 Pro Plus cannot run Google apps unless you hack the phone. Now, to be honest, it's not that hard to hack. You can do it in under 10 minutes and there are instructions all over the internet, but I'm not gonna, guide you to that. Let's pretend we're using the phone as this. It's actually pretty usable still. It's not ideal, but it's not like unbearable because Gmail, which I use and I think a lot of Americans and Europeans use, Gmail, you can still access it with a third-party mail app. So Huawei's mail app will work, and also Microsoft's Outlook. So I have Microsoft Outlook and my Google account is loaded on here perfectly fine. Google Maps still work on here, although you cannot log in. And YouTube, as I already showed you, you can access YouTube on a web browser, and the experience is not going to be as good as watching on an app, but it's still usable. Ultimately, though, you can't use Google Pay, you can't use Google Drive, Google Docs, so it's still going to be a hassle, especially if your work is reliant on those things. But if your work isn't super tied to Google, you might be able to make do with this phone even without core GMS. And to be honest, Huawei is spending a lot of money, like over $1 billion into building its own ecosystem, Huawei Mobile Services. And Huawei is like holding all these software conferences and trying to do initiatives to fund European and African and Asia app developers to build apps for Huawei. So it's just a matter of time. Maybe in another year, HMS will be really fully fleshed out and you can have really good services on this phone. So I just think you have to really ask yourself, how tied to Google are you? If you're not that tied to Google, like you don't need to use Google Pay all the time and you don't need Google Drive and all that, the software here may be manageable for you. And if you have decided that you can make do with this software, then this is one of the best values on the market right now. $560 and you're getting performance that's like 95% as good as the Huawei P40 Pro. And the Huawei P40 Pro is one of the best phones on the market right now. So this is not a review by any means. I'm going to test this phone a lot more thoroughly and come back with a full review. This is just a first look of the Honor 30 Pro Plus. Now I'm going to have a lot more videos coming up, including on the Huawei P40 Pro Plus, the Realme X3, and I'm going to test a couple of other surprise devices too. So please stay tuned and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Take care.